when you say, I get what I think about whether I want it or not. Let's just start there. And then you say, but I can't control what I think about, which is where most people are. Most people can't control what they think about. Why? Because they let momentum go, and it's against the laws of physics for them to be able to take a thought of something unwanted that has a lot of momentum and stop on a dime and think something else. So if you think that's what we're asking you to do, then you're failing at it. And if you think you're failing at it, then you're worse off than you were before you ever met us. Once you accept that you are creating your own reality and that you are always offering a vibration, and then you say, how do I know whether the vibration that I'm offering, meaning the thought that I'm having, is of value or not? And then we say, if it feels good, it's of value. If it doesn't feel good, it's not. And then you say, but what if I can't tell? And then we say, then don't change anything. Just let law of attraction make your thoughts bigger. And eventually, it will be big enough that you can feel its emotional indicator. We always say, if you've got something negative going on and you don't know it, don't worry, it'll get bigger. But that's true. If you've got something positive going on, don't worry about it. It will get bigger, because the law of attraction just keeps adding to what is, with no judgment, no trying to guide you one way or another. So this is the place that we really want you to be at when you walk out of this door today. As you live this life and sift and sort through it and know what you don't want and know what you do want, you have created a selection of things that you care about just by your awareness of what feels good to you and what doesn't. And when you reemerge into non-physical, when you have what you want to call death, we refuse to acknowledge death as anything that's real. But when you reemerge into non-physical, because you never cease to be, you are eternal beings. When you withdraw your attention from this body, and you reemerge into non-physical, and you focus then upon this time and space from that non-physical perspective where there's no resistance. You take the best of all that you've gleaned from it and add to this vibrational reality, which is the source from which new babies are born. It's the source from which ideas are flowing. And this non-physical energy is aware of you all day, every day. Everyone who has reemerged into non-physical is looking on with you about where you are. But the difference between what they see through the eyes of Source and what you see through the eyes of you is that they do not see things to worry about and resistance, because they're looking into this vibrational reality that you've already carved out. And when you figure out how to do that, which simply means when you care about how you feel enough to guide your thoughts more and more into good feeling things, then you begin to be an extension of the energy, of the powerful energy that creates worlds. And now what flows through the fingertips of your mind is evident by anyone who watches you, because masterful, wonderful, good feeling things are your experience, you see. And then you try to explain it to others, and maybe they're getting it and maybe they're not. Life experience is what teaches them. It's not words. It's life experience that teaches them. So you just teach through the clarity of your example. Most humans have had too many conversations about too many things while they're under the influence of something other than Source. So then they're just debating. How many debates do you want to have about abortion, or about parenting, or about immigration, or about this being legal and that being legal, with people on both ends of that battle, fighting, hardly any clarity coming out of any of it? Don't you just want to give that up? Don't you want to accept that anybody that's having any of those experiences, any of those personal experiences, is launching rockets of desire, and that there is a vibrational reality of improved life experience that Source is all over? And that at the very least, the new energies coming in are going to be in vibrational alignment with the new requests that are there. And the rest of you have the choice of whether you torture yourself by being outside of the new, improved, evolved state of being that collectively as a mass consciousness on planet Earth you've put into being, or not. You get to be as joyful as you decide to be, but if you need things to change in order to make you feel joy, you're in deep doo-doo. You've got to find a way to feel the joy of what you've collectively created. You can't wait around for things to shift so that you observe it and then feel better. Does that make sense to you? There are so many people that would say, no, it's our advocacy that makes the difference. It's our pushing against it. It's mothers against drunk drivers, and it's war against poverty, and the war against drugs, and the war against cancer, and the war against AIDS, and the war against teenage pregnancy, and the war against, that's what's making the world a better place. And we say, no, that's making more war. That's making more things to have more wars about. In other words, you just can't get there from there. And friends, you've done enough with all of that, and we mean that in the nicest way we do. Your willingness to synthesize life has caused you to create a vibrational reality that you deserve to witness and live. But if you need everybody on the planet to agree with you, to witness it with you, and to live it with you, then you're going to have a long wait, because people are in various stages of allowing and acknowledging and feeling and being in touch with source energy. You have the ability to tune into that. Oh, it's such a wonderful thing when you realize that those whom you have loved and who have loved you, and those that you didn't even know, and those that you knew and didn't love, all of those who have reemerged in the non-physical are looking forward with you in this leading edge time and space, and they're feeling the newness of what you are providing through your life and request. And they are seeing it with no resistance. And that's why your Earth continues to spin in its orbit, and that's why the food continues to be upon your planet. Don't you think that's a nice thing? There are no spaceships coming. There are no pipelines from other planets. There's not any of that going on. There's a perpetuation of well-being that is spawned by the power of the energy that this universe is really all about. And you can be part of that energy and thrive, or you can pinch yourself off from it and thrive less. You can tune in deliberately, or you can tune in accidentally. But it is our promise to you that when you get hold of the power that is yours to live, and it's the power of love, it's the power of whole, it's the power of good feelings, it's the power of clarity, it's the power of self-love, it's the power of loving others, it's the power of appreciation. It's the power of good feeling emotions. It's so interesting that so many humans do not make the equation that good feeling is a good thing. And that those empty, horrible, hateful, awful feelings are not good for you. They're not good for you. What we want to say is get tuned in and follow the impulse. We don't want to say, drink this and that'll tune you in, or don't drink that and it'll tune you in. Because those things, all of those different foods that are in all of those different piles, doesn't matter what pile they're in, it only matters what influence you're under when you eat the Twinkie. Once you get hold of this, what's going to happen to you is you're going to have greater feelings of that euphoria and greater feelings of your own power. For sure, you'll notice it in the next few days. But you're also going to notice that when you get crossways of it, it's going to feel worse than usual too. Because you can't move to this understanding and then drift from it without feeling the contest of that. If someone called you on the telephone and said, hello, you don't know me, I'm just calling to tell you that I will never call you again, you would say, thanks for letting me know, but you wouldn't worry about it. But if somebody you really care about were to tell you that, you'd feel stronger discomfort. Meaning that when you really, 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 really want something and you get off kilter from it, you feel bad. But if you sort of want it and you're off kilter, you sort of don't feel that good. If you really want something and you're off kilter, you really feel bad. Well, what's happened here today to you should have been on the disclaimer you signed. is that you can't go back. Once you gain this understanding of who you are, you can't not be who you really are now that you know who you really are. So there. The thing that we want you to hear, and this piece will click into place easily for you. It's interesting, we see so many creative people, musicians mostly, musicians and artists and authors, but mostly musicians, we're just going to say, who feel their way to alignment and then mastery flows through them. And then they want to find a business approach to getting it out to the world and so forth. And they forget everything that they knew that made the music flow because their beliefs about business suck. In other words, when it was just them and creative juices or the creative muse, then it was easy. But now they have to integrate into a world that they see as not cooperative or in control of them. It doesn't go so well. So all you have to do is accept that the same mastery that allowed you the creation of your whatever it is the same mastery that will allow you to take it to the next and the next and the next, wherever you want to go with it. It's exactly the same. Which means your thoughts have to feel good about it. And when your thoughts don't feel good about it, think about something else. It's simpler than you think. You know how life experience causes you to put things in the vortex. Are you good with that concept? We keep doing it. Do you get it? You know what you don't want, you know what you do want, you know what you do want, you know what you do want. So in this vibrational reality that you can't see or hear or smell or taste or touch, but it's real, it's vibration, it's real, and it is expanding, it's becoming more. And the law of attraction has gathered the cooperative components, and the cooperative components have caused it to be more and more and more and more. Your whole life, you're putting contents, ingredients into the vortex, and then in your willingness to allow non-resistant moments, then those ingredients became cooperative components, and you, in your aligned state, also a cooperative component, allowed it to download into your experience. What we want you to hear is there's more downloading coming. There's more downloading coming. So don't try to push it. Don't fake it till you make it. Don't effort it. Don't sacrifice. Don't struggle. Let your knowledge of how this works, let the same inspiration that created it be the source of the inspiration that will take it to the next and the next and the next and the next. Did you hear that? It applies to everything that you're about. You are different now, and there's nothing to worry about except that you are different now. Your vibration has shifted because you felt resonance with these universal laws, and you've activated within yourself a sort of temporary set point in your vibration, which means your relationship with everything absolutely has shifted, and your awareness of the evidence of that shift is really going to be important to you. If you can just let this vibrational set point linger within you, and your only assignment is to see if you can personally discover what we mean by a daydream. If you can find yourself in a pleasant thought that you're just allowing to form itself like a movie that you are watching for pleasure rather than a movie that you're creating for abundance or for recognition. This is a movie that you're just watching for pleasure. And your inner being is the director of it, because your inner being knows all of the pieces that you put there and what the main plot is and where you stand in relationship to it and where you'll be most interested or most likely to jump in. It's going to be natural and easy and subtle, but you will recognize it when it comes. There is great love here for you.